Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
आपके रेज्यूमे में अगर ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं डेवऑप्स एंड एसआरई के, तो डेफिनेटली आपका रेज्यूमे शॉर्टलिस्ट होगा, क्योंकि ये सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स जो भी मैंने कंपनी में काम किए हैं, मे बी वॉलमार्ट, अमेजॉन या जो भी कंपनीज में मैंने इंटरव्यूज दिए हैं, जैसे पेटीएम, सैप इन्फॉर्मेटिका, डन एंड ब्रैडस्ट्रीट, या तो मैंने जहां काम किया वेरिजॉन, इन्फोसिस, वहां से मैंने ये प्रोजेक्ट्स उठा के लाए हैं. And to be honest, 50% of you guys have not subscribed to my channel and still you are watching my channel. So a kind request to everyone, please भाई लोग सब्सक्राइब कर लो चैनल को. और बहन लोग तो बहुत ही कम देख रहे हैं चैनल को, बट भाई लोग बहुत सपोर्ट कर रहे हो, तो एक लाइक से सब्सक्राइब कर लो, एक लाइक कर लो और सब्सक्राइब कर लो चैनल को. बिकॉज today I will be showing you different projects which are based on different domains. For example, we have e-commerce based projects which you can keep in your resume from Walmart. You have telecom projects from my Verizon experience. You have automobile projects from Infosys, and you have other projects from my various kinds of interview experiences. These all things can be yours if you are going to watch this video till the end. And if you have not subscribed to the channel or not liked the video, make sure you like the video. The like target for this video is 300 plus likes, because I am going to do some hands-on for you for your better understanding. So what are we waiting for? Let's start quickly the hands-on, and I will show you in depth each of the project things, how you can design, how you can keep it in your resume, everything from start to the end. So stay tuned and connect with me at the end of this video. So let's get started with the hands-on. So yes, as you are able to see on the screen, we have the first project as e-commerce project, where I am going to show you the complete structure, how you can keep it in your resume, what will be the project name, how you can explain your roles and responsibilities from this kind of project. This is the project I have taken from Walmart. So let's start without wasting much time. So the statement says a company wants to migrate its monolithic e-commerce application to a microservice based architecture using the CI/CD pipeline or whatever the stack we are looking for. So this will be our first project which we will design, but let me go ahead with the second project also, which is your banking project. A bank wants to automate deployment and testings of its web application on AWS. The third project taken from Verizon will help you understand how a team wants to automate the OS patching for AWS VMs. The fourth project is taken from your Infosys. An automobile company wants to deploy a ad planner application on Kubernetes. And the fifth project will be a security based project. So without wasting much time, let's take the first project and design the data. Now, if you are able to understand, I have already told you this is the project which I have taken from Walmart, right? Now, as you are aware, under Walmart, there will be different kinds of microservices or monolithic services. For example, Walmart is a USA based company, but in India, we have DMart, right? Now, for example, you consider the DMart will have supply chain, correct? The DMart will have transportation, right? The DMart will have item and inventory, correct? Basically the stock management. So what do you understand? Every e-commerce application will have these kind of basic things which will manage its supply chain, have transportation, have item and inventory, basically stock management and all. For example, in the earlier days, let's say 2010, all these services were coming under one pillar or one director. Okay, there was one director and there was a 40-member team who were handling this entire application stack. But now what has happened is basically after, let's say, like 10 years, 2020, they wanted to go with the microservice architecture. Now what we are trying to do is we are trying to disintegrate all these things, and we are going to convert this entire system into the microservice based architecture. Microservice 1, microservice 2, and microservice 3. Under this microservices also, for example, under supply chain, right, under supply chain, you will have different kinds of microservices. Let's say microservices 1.1, microservice 1.2, microservice 1.3. Under the transportation pillar, what has happened is you have GPS tracking system microservice, you have bus details or truck details microservice, right? And the third microservice will be like the inventory for the trucks and buses itself. Let's say tires, right? Let's say you can also consider like driver details, tire details, manufacturer of the truck details, because when it comes to DMart itself buys all the trucks and everything, right? Under the microservice 3, item and inventory, you can have a barcode microservice, right? You can have item and inventory stock management microservice. You can have various kinds of inventories related to shops as well as inventories related to your warehouses. So all these things, what we are trying to do in 2020 is we assigned 3 directors. So director 1, this is director 2, and this is director 3. The director 1 is responsible to maintain his own batch of people and application. The director 2 is responsible for this, and the director 3 is responsible for this. Now when we are going to see ahead, right, in the next slide, you will see how this microservices structures are going and taking place in DevOps and SRE field. For example, if I go ahead, right, and I say like for the microservice 1, right, for this complete services, we have to create the complete CI/CD pipeline. We have to have Kubernetes. We have to have cloud. In the same way, we are going to have the CI/CD, the Kubernetes, and the cloud. And the same way, you have CI/CD, the Kubernetes, and the cloud. Now, when it comes to this kind of pattern, let's understand some things here. So each organization here, org 1 under director 1, org 2 under director 2, org 3 under director 3, you will have a organizational repository in GitHub. So org 1 will have the bigger repository like supply chain. Under supply chain, you will have microservice 1, microservice 2, and microservice 3. The same way here you have the what is a pillar here we were considering, right? Transportation. So here you have transportation pillar, right? And you have microservice 1, microservice 2, and microservice 3. So basically this is completely, and similarly the org 3 will have 3 services. Now what we are trying to do is we are trying to combinedly design the CI/CD project where you have multiple integration of various kinds of tools. Now let's say the director 1 has decided to take its microservice 1 onboarded into the CI/CD pipeline. So same way you have tool 1, tool 2, tool 3, tool 4, tool 5, tool 6, tool 7, and finally Kubernetes and tool 8, tool 9, which will be your monitoring and SRE things, which we will see in the next place. Now what is going to happen is this microservice code, which is basically a Java based application, comes onto the CI/CD pipeline, goes over the security aspects, then goes over the build aspects, then goes over the container aspects, and then goes over the Kubernetes aspects, and finally goes over the monitoring aspects. Now, if you are a DevOps engineer, you need to make sure that you tell the entire story for this particular application, how you are going to build this. And if you are a fresher, I will be very much honestly telling you that these all things will play a very, very crucial role when you are designing your project 1 for your resume. You take any CI/CD pipeline, but you have to tell the story that how these things are working, how your microservice to monolithic to microservice architecture have been designed, and how the infra was also designed. The infra design part I will be discussing in the project. So each one will be like a pointer. So don't miss this video. Video will be a little bit lengthy because I have to tell you everything in detail. So the first project you understood that onboarding of the CI/CD applications. You can tell this name as Walmart supply chain, or you can say like WSC, which you can say like warehouse supply chain management, something like this. You can give your name of the project warehouse supply chain management, Correct. So you can give any name provided it's suiting your requirement. Now, when we talk about the project two, I will be very telling you the important things, and it will be very easy for you to understand also. Let's talk about the banking project. Now, when we talk about the banking project, you just take any real-time example of your bank. For example, we have multiple banks in India, let's say ICICI, Axis Bank, right? And you have other banks. For example, the other banks are like ICICI, Axis, Bank of Baroda, and other banks. Now, if you see, every bank has the same structure of data getting flown, right? So, for example, you have login, then it takes you to the bank main page, and under the main page, you have variety of services. Let's say FD, let's say credit cards, let's say statements, right? Let's say NPS, PF, right? Mutual funds, these all things, and like loans if you have taken anything, these all things comes under the same thing. Now, for a fresher, if you are able to tell these kind of story, it will really impact. A bank wants to automate the deployment and testing of its web application on AWS. Now, when we talk about the cloud, you need to understand the cloud architecture. So let's begin with the cloud architecture. I have already told you the CI/CD deployment. You can tell the same story with the deployment of this, but because we have not touched in the previous project about cloud, I'm going to touch here. Now, you can always tell that you were on AWS or Azure, and making sure you are having your own cloud. Now, when you are designing your cloud, you need to understand that you have a VPC, virtual private cloud, you have subnets, right? Private subnet, public subnet, and private subnet, which is going to help you in making sure the things are aligned proper. And in this public subnet and private subnets, you have something like your NAT gateway, you have something like your databases, right? You have something, your load balancers in your VPC, right? In your subnets, you have also auto scaling groups. You have also, let's say when I talk about database, you can consider MySQL or you can consider Postgre. SQL. You also have lambdas integrated, because you need to understand when a lambda is present in the bank statement. Let's say I have to send an email to my 1 lakh users, right? So Lambda is going to play at every day 5 p.m. Lambda plays an important role. You have some other things on cloud, let's say Kinesis for streaming. You have Elk Stack given by Amazon for monitoring. You have S3 buckets to store the data onto AWS cloud. Let's say every state transactional statement after 2 months of the customer should be saved on the S3 Glacier, or more than a year you store it on S3 bucket. So these kind of things form a really massive impact when you tell all these things. And you can tell that in front of this, there is a Route 53 comes here, load balancer, auto scaling group goes to this systems. We have Kubernetes in place, right? Both in both the subnets and public subnet and private subnet, we have the clusters rolling out, and from the clusters the data is again sent back to the customer. So this is very simple statement, and you need to understand how these microservices are able to help, right? Login page, bank page, and under bank page you have FD microservice, credit card microservice, statement microservice, NPS microservice, PF microservice, and these all microservices, when combined together, you have your banking application, right? This sounds really interesting, and this will be very much helpful concepts for you to understand in the real time. Now, when it comes on to the name of the project, you can say like Bank of Application Management, something like this. Okay, anything as per your name, and you can tell roles and responsibilities like managing the cloud, deployment of the applications with the help of CI/CD pipelines, monitoring the systems with the help of Elk stacks, writing down Python code with the help of lambdas, right? So these all things will come under this project too. I hope you have liked this video. Please make sure you share with your friends, because very rarely you see these kind of use cases. Now, if you see the telecom project, this project is taken from Verizon, right? And IT team wants to automate the OS patching for AWS VMs. Very important. So the project number 3, which will be your IT patching project. Now, very important in any organization, if you see, the patching of the project will be very, very number one priority, right? Now, if anyone is working as a system admin or any kind of admin related roles in DevOps and SRE space, you will be able to understand that these all things are done. Now, when you talk about the IT patching, I'm not talking about one server, but I'm talking about 1 lakh of inventory. Very, 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 very hard inventory, hardcore inventory is present with us on cloud. Now, people are asking us not to use AWS Systems Manager because it costs a little bit. So people are asking us to automate some things here. Now, very important in Verizon, because I was working in telecom, right? 4G applications, 5G applications, and I used to do the CI/CD deployments of these kind of applications. And if you see Verizon.com, the portal will be for the USA, right? USA telecommunication. Similarly, how we have in India, the Airtel. Similarly, for the USA, the Verizon.com is there. Now, very interestingly, when you talk or see about these kind of projects like 4G and 5G or 3G projects or any kind of support projects, or you can also consider like technician data management process, right? Because every technician which is onboarded with Verizon, they should have their details, they should have their pay slips, they should have their days of leave taken, attendance management of the things, right? So every company maintains these kind of things, and you should be very, very much very much interesting to know about these things. So definitely one of the projects which I am going to tell you is this one, like IT patching management projects, which will actually help you in understanding like how the actual real time things are flowing, right? So when you talk about the IT patching, I will design this system in front of you so that you can understand how the IT management is doing the patching in any kind of organizations. Let's say telecom, for example, where I've done in Verizon. So I'll be showing you that in this particular video. So stay tuned. Let's go ahead and complete the project number 3, right? So when you see the project number 3, it will be very fascinating to you, right? So let me write down. So basically this entire automation we will do with the help of Ansible. Okay. So Ansible as our base stack we will take. So as you are aware, Ansible has the inventory management. So what we will do is whatever the 1 lakh servers are there, first we will group those servers, let's say prod, non-prod, or 5G servers, 4G servers, 3G servers, right? Under prod and non-prod. Under non-prod, we will say 5G servers, 4G servers, 3G servers, and similarly for the prod, 5G, 4G, 3G. Now, what is this? Every inventory we will be passing over to Ansible. Now, Ansible, when you talk, you have Ansible roles. Under this roles, you create various kinds of roles. For example, I have a 3G role, 4G role, 5G role. When I am passing, let's say Ansible hyphen playbook hyphen I, the inventory file, right? And then you pass your Ansible playbook, right? And you pass hyphen E, some variables to it. It is actually running your playbook file over this inventory. Now, what is this playbook file? You are also aware that we have different kinds of Ansible playbook.yaml files, and you write like hosts, right? You write like become, you write like user, you write like tasks, and you name the task here. And let's say copy, right? Copy module I am using from Ansible, copy, content, and destination, something like this. So this particular playbook will copy my patching server file or the data from this particular server, from the host server to the target server, which is actually managed by your Ansible. Now, when I pass the 3G playbook, okay, basically it's a role. So role, these all things are actually managed by a role master playbook. If you are not aware of all these things, let me tell you, in batch 12, we are going to learn everything. So let me show you about the batch 12. What are the things that are there? The batch 12 is going to start from next week. That is hardly 5 days are left, and very less cost at 4,570% off. You're going to get all the real-time projects and scenarios starting from basics to advanced Linux to your Kubernetes cluster management. We are going to do 28th of June, 14 plus projects, interactive learning environment, live classes, 30 plus new assignments, certificate of completion, 30 plus downloadable resources, and class recordings will be available. Little bit AI also we have integrated, week-wise syllabus. Very interestingly, you will cover everything from a fresher if you are looking out for job to the domain change person. These all projects are covered for you in batch 12. Let me tell you, we have got many success stories with whatever the pattern that I have teaching in the last 2 years. If you see the success stories, people have got placed in Amazon, Walmart, Microsoft, right? Zynga, Adobe. You can see all those 40 LPA, 30 LPA, all the offer statements. This is at Amazon, right? So all those statements are here. So what are you waiting for? Just take a moment and book your seat at the lowest price. The price can be changed anytime because we are going with the live the next week, so make sure that you are enrolling. So thank you for watching till now. So let's go to the next project. So you understood, right? OS patching and all those things we do with the help of Ansible. And the fourth project, an automobile company wants to deploy a ad planner application. Now this is the company which I have worked. So Toyota ad planner, I will just show you Toyota ad planner. Yeah, so this was the project which I have worked, and if you see, the same project will be there in Infosys till now, right? And they are having the same, or what you say, like access management login page, the red color, yeah, same username, password, login. So all these things my team have worked, and I have also developed some REST APIs into this project. So what is this Toyota management project? Is that the project 4? If you see, Project 4 Toyota Management Service. Now, when we talk about the Project 4 Toyota Management Service, basically the name was Dealer Management Systems, right? So I am from Infosys, so I'm giving you the straightforward name like Dealer Management System. What this Toyota Ad Planner will do is whenever a new car Toyota launches, worldwide, its dealers are allowed to download the Toyota car pictures from here. There are two streams here under this. One is free pictures, free banners you can download, and the other one is paid banners you can download. The entire project was again migrated to AWS when we were there. This was a very old project. If you see also register as a dealer, right? Same way, first name, email address, last name. It was very beautiful project, and you see like cart, download options, everything, and still people are using the same thing, right? So it's very amazing and fascinating to see like how these systems are being used by the software engineers or the engineers who are using it and the at the real time. So free banners and the paid banners. So whenever you see any kind of new car getting launched, you are able to download the free banners and the paid banners. So paid banners will be a little bit costly, right? Free banners are free. Paid banners are costly because they have good quality, right? They are created with AI. Let's assume now AI will also be integrated, right? So these all things are there, and this particular project is asking you some kind of requirement. So if you see here, in our document of the project, an automobile company wants to deploy a ad planner application on Kubernetes. Now, whenever you talk about the Kubernetes, very interestingly, your AKS or EKS microservice architecture or the Kubernetes cluster comes into picture. So let's take, you have taken the cloud system, right? And you are making sure this is going to your EKS cluster. Now, whenever a microservice application comes over the CI/CD pipeline, as discussed above, it will go and directly deploy onto your Kubernetes platform. This is one such interesting thing where every of the software engineers try to come and talk about these kind of things. Now, you need to understand the EKS architecture. You have to understand the EKS resources. You have to understand the architecture resources and the deployment patterns of your Elastic Kubernetes service. You can also understand the patching of the Kubernetes, right? These all things usually people ask, rolling updates or rolling deployments, deployment patterns. That's what. And how you are integrating your Jenkins with your CI/CD. These all things are usually asked. Now, when we talk about the Kubernetes, here in the GitHub repo, right, you will have a Kubernetes YAML file, Kubernetes right manifest file, and this manifest file, with the help of the Jenkins job, Kubernetes Jenkins job, this Kubernetes Jenkins job will trigger this YAML file. This YAML file converts your application right into your container. Very interesting. So make sure You follow the entire process, same the way we did from the project 1, how we have leveraged the things. We are at project number 4, which is going to help you in designing the things. Now, very important, very, very important, the project 5. Now, tell me, you all tell me, you have seen banking projects, you have seen telecommunication projects, you have understood now what you say, like automobile projects. So I can show you the Verizon project also, Verizon.com. Right. So if you are able to see, right, so Verizon is wireless internet connectivity and all those things. So you see mobile, it's a microservice. When I type like mobile, it will go into plans unlimited, right? Business, is it a personal use? So there are two types of vendors here, personal and business. If you are any kind of business plans or you are looking at business plans, you go here. So very, very robust application, and all the different kinds of teams have integrated here. And similarly, if you see like Walmart, same way, walmart.com. So I'm very much proud that I have worked on these kind of platforms, and definitely you will see these kind of things in the coming time. You tell me what will be the domain you want me to create the next video, right? The project 5, you tell me which domain you want, whether you want any kind of AI domain, right? Or you want any kind of uh, maybe tires domain, right? Some applications which you can think of, security domain, right? So all those things you can put down as a pointers, and I will definitely help you in understanding things. But yeah, if you have watched this video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, right? So yes, you have seen so much of hands-on of this projects coming on to roles and responsibilities. What is a project name? How you can keep in your resume? What are the things that you like the most? Let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to create your resume with the help of my sample resume templates, which I have given in the description. This is Praveen signing off from this video. Make sure that you don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Also, we have launched the batch 11, which is Also, we have launched the batch 12, which has all these projects integrated with hands-on, 14 plus assignments, 30 plus real-time data pointers for you guys. So check out the batch 12 in the description, right? We are going to start the classes from next week, where you are going to get different kinds of DevOps and SRE things onto your resume. So what are you waiting for? See you all on 28th of June at 9 a.m. Those who have enrolled, make sure you don't miss the first session, right? So see you all. Until then, take care. Bye.